Hello everyone, welcome to Math Hands-On class with Python, and today we are going to see how we can visualize or present our data using a stacked bar graph or unstacked bar graph. So to start with, I have imported the important libraries, the pandas and the matplot library for this tutorial. I also loaded the data and I saved this data in this folder called stacked bar, and inside this folder I have saved the Python file and the my data frame. So I'm going to print out and see what is inside my data frame. So let's print this and see what is inside my data frame. If we print that, you can see we have this data with three columns, one representing the year, export, and import. The export column represents the USD dollars in billions that a country A gained after exporting its products to country B, and the import column represents the US dollars in billions that country A spent on importing products from country B. So from this data, I'm going to show you how we can present this information using the stacked or unstacked bar graph. So to start with, I want to show you how you can plot this data if you have this information, just say export and import without the column of year. So basically, the bar graph has a vertical axis and a horizontal axis. A horizontal axis represents the x and y axis represent the y axis. So by default, if you do not tell or assign or choose which value have to go through x axis, okay, and which values or which data have to go to y axis, all the values that you have, all the columns, will be assigned to y axis, and the x axis values will normally take the index number from this column here. So what we are going to do, I'm going to eliminate this column for years and show you how you can plot the data if you don't have a column which basically represents the value that can be set to x-axis. So let's create the data frame, which basically will have these two columns, and let's see what will be the stacked bar graph for these two columns. So let's create that data frame, that is data, and from this data I'm going to create the data frame with just only two columns, and one column represents the export and the other column will represent the import. So we can print this and see if we have managed to create that data file, and I'm going to stop this file and let's run that. So you can see we have the data frame here with two columns. Okay, now let's create or present this information using the stacked bar graph. So we just use this command data.plot, and we are going to plot the stacked bar graph. So the kind of graph that we are going to plot here is the bar, and we command them to be stacked. So stacked true. Also, you can assign the width of the bar to 0.9, and then after that let's command or let's label the axis and the title. So I think we are done, there is no error, and then let's print out and see the output. So you can see here we have our stacked bar graph, and normally the x values are the values of these index values here. Okay, these ones become the default x-axis values, and these coefficients here are these values or coefficients from export and import, representing the US dollar in billions. So the orange bar represents the import and the blue one represents the export. So this is how you can plot the stacked bar graph. So if you don't prefer to plot the stacked bar graph, then you just remove this command here. Okay, just delete this one, and when you print this one, will give you another plot which is unstacked bar graph, and this will be the output of that. Okay, so this is how you can plot the stacked bar graph if you didn't assign which values have to go to the x-axis and which values have to be represented to the y-axis. Now let's see how you can customize your stacked bar graph by commanding which values have to be presented to the x-axis and which values have to be presented to the y-axis. So we are going to stop now this data we created because we are going to use the whole data frame. Okay, and let's stop this print out of the data frame. As we know, this data frame contains data values with three columns: the year and the export and import. Also, let's stop this one and let's start coding. So we use the command data.reset index.plot, and we are going to plot the stacked bar graph by which the x-axis values will be the years, and on y-axis we are going to have the data or values for export and import. Kind equal to bar, and this is stacked, and you can add something like the width of the bar, that is 0.9. Then you can cut this, and then other things, let's leave them as they are because we have the same labels. So, and let's command the print of this. So you can see we have this new stacked bar graph with the x-axis values presenting the years, and let's change the x label from index to years. Let's run it. So you can see we have this output here as a stacked bar graph for trading between A and B, where the orange one represents the import and the blue one represents the export. So this is how you can plot the stacked bar graph by customizing which values to be presented on the x-axis and which values to be presented on y-axis. So after having this stacked bar graph, also as we did in the previous part, that just eliminate this stacked to be true, or you can write here false, then you will have the unstacked bar graph, and let me show you that. So we just write false, and if you run this, you're going to have this kind of graph here. Okay, this is unstacked bar graph. Now let's say you don't want to present or to visualize all the informations from your data set, but you just want to visualize a part of your data set. Okay, now we are going to customize that part of the data that you want to present or to visualize. Okay, so to do that, we are going to see how you can customize those information. Now, suppose we want to visualize information from year 2003 up to, let's say, 2015, which is here. Okay, so if we would like to visualize only that information from 2003 up to 2015, we have to customize the information from the main data frame by creating another data frame with that sub datas from the main data. So let's create that data as data equal to data dot ilog, and we want to visualize the data from the year 2003, which is on the 11th row, through 2015. So in 2015 we have to go one step ahead, which is 24. Okay, so that means if I will command to run this one, this stacked bar graph will basically plot the stacked bar graph using the current data frame that I created from the main data frame. So we'll read the data from this data frame. So running this one, we are going to have this plot here showing unstacked bar graph, okay, for the selected data. And if we need the stacked bar graph, that means we just command here from false to true, and then run that, and you are going to have this stacked bar graph, which is basically from the year 2003 to 2015. So this is what I prepared for you today, but let me give you a bonus if you sometimes need to customize also this legend. Okay, so if you would like to customize the legend, just come here, then write dot legend, and from this legend function, so you customize the location of your legend to be, let's say, on the upper center, and number of columns to be 2, because we have 2 bars. Okay, if I command number of column to be 2, so I'm going to have 2 columns in the legend for the labels of export and import. And after the number of columns, you can add the title of the legend. Okay, and the title of the legend, for instance here, let's call it the trade volume. Then after that, you are done. But we have an error here, and this error might be in this function, and we didn't write the equal sign here, and I think we are clear with that. And then let's run this one, and before that, let's reduce this one and expand this and run. So you can see how you can customize also the legend of your plot. Okay, so this is the bonus that I would like to leave with you today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this content of the video, and click on the bell icon to receive the notification of the video that will be uploaded.